Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Ike Michaels, and with me, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
Slappy, pappy, wet.
On the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last white dragon. Give it up for Zach Roan.
Hey there.
And a very, very special returning champion with us. We can't figure out if it's 4 or 5. You might be in the 5-timers club by now.
Oh, we need a jacket.
It's like I was gonna say I need a master's jacket.
Yeah.
What color would it be for a Harder Brunch though?
Probably our colors, like orange and yellow.
Oh, so I could also take it and moonlight as like a McDonald's manager.
I was about to say those are definitely McDonald's
Awesome.
colors.
Yes.
Give it up for Sarah Murrell.
Hey.
Murrell.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, Murrell, you got it.
Sarah, well, just keep coming back for another 10 years and I'll get it figured out. Sarah, you, I think the last time you came on, do you remember how far you were into Metal Honey?
It was
new.
Not quite a year, I don't think. I don't think it was like maybe even 6 months, right?
Yeah, well, so
when was meat cakes?
it was over a year ago.
Yeah,
'cause
over a
it
year
was,
ago.
year
Yeah.
in February. So
Yeah, so it would have been like 6 months maybe.
And
Wow.
how much work had you put into? Well, I guess tell people real quick what you do.
I'm the sauce bitch. If Zach is a sauce boss, I make infused honeys. That's local honey infused with global flavors. That's my tagline, which I also didn't have last time I was here.
Yeah.
So I take local honey from Baston's Bee Farms and I infuse it with hot peppers and ginger and hibiscus and all kinds of sexy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's wonderful. My favorite thing to do is put it on like chicken.
Yes.
And waffles. Mm-hmm. But you can put it on a variety of things. But when you had first started, you had been working on this for a while before I guess you officially launched. But you were still like a brand new business owner, and I feel like now you are fully entrenched.
Yeah, we seasoned, baby.
Seasoned.
Fully seasoned like cast iron.
How have we grown? I don't even know where to start with this. Why start a business during the end of the world? That's my first.
My first advice would be start a business if you were unemployable in any other industry. Also, no matter what job you get, if you're just like mind-numbingly bored at 6 months, you're probably meant to own a business.
Yeah.
If you don't like sleeping and you only want to think about like 5 things for 3 years to 10 years or whatever, open one. And don't do a restaurant. That's insane.
Yeah.
And that's my best business advice. Don't do it.
I think if there's any takeaway from this program, it's don't open a restaurant.
My mom was a restaurant consultant for years after she sold her business, and her best advice was if you feel like it's time for you to open a restaurant, you should go lay down till you feel better. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that as a general slogan of life. It's good. Yeah.
Were you thinking about working hard to achieve something? You can quit that.
I wish we could do an entire. I feel like we could do an entire web series show based on just you and Zach's experiences at farmers markets. Just from the stories that I've heard from him, and then what I see you post weekly on there, because apparently every farmers market is just 75% insane people.
It's not. We let like with so many things, right? We let a vocal, insane minority do all the talking. But at the farmers market, it is. Oh man, this is going to be like broadcast for the world to hear. So I got to really choose my words carefully. There is a certain kind of person who, lacking a sense of individuality in the rest of their life, will just stand there and recite all their dietary specifications to you until you melt into an Alex Mack puddle and then just slide out of the air return. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have that experience, Zach.
Yeah, no, you get a lot of recommendations. Like, well, I'd buy something if you made it, whatever flavored. And they never would. They never would. Even if you made it, then they would just tell you about how the one that they had from their back home was better.
Yep, exactly.
My favorite is was the blueberry mustard guy.
I would get that a decent amount of times. It's like, do you have blueberry mustard? Like it was the most normal thing in the world. It's like, no, we don't have that. It's like,
Well,
this
maybe
place up in Michigan had blueberry mustard. I was like, I bet they did.
I was trying to give you a hint.
Right.
Right. After the third time, like, he's not getting it. Make it.
My favorite is because all my products are honey based. At least once a week, someone will walk past at least one apiary vendor and walk like right past a big table of like a 2-pound bucket of honey and come to my table and be like, "Do you sell anything plain?" Like, Nope, just take 10 steps in the direction that you came in, and you will encounter that which you seek.
Do you think that there's something about the nature of a farmer's market that people forget that these are like usually super small businesses, you know, but this is like my thing. This is my specialized niche thing that I do.
Well, I think some people some customers will come up and they're not going to buy anything, but they want to do something nice for you. And it's what they have defined as nice. That might be some advice. It could be business advice.
A nickel's
it could
worth
be,
of free advice.
Yeah, it could be how you're dressed or, wow, it's not very professional for you. So many things. Like, I wouldn't drive that car to the farmer's market.
Well, you were wearing a lot of crop tops when you were selling mustard,
Well,
which
to
I
be
was
fair,
confused
yeah.
by.
I was confused by the GIMP mask.
One time,
Listen, what matters in selling in person is starting the conversation, and nothing starts
Okay.
a conversation like a GIMP mask.
That's why I was like, blueberry, right? This guy's gotta have blueberry mustard.
no, I did used to have a hot dog costume. I would break it out every so often, and I even made a little kid cry once. And 'cause
Probably more than once.
She was walking up toward the booth with her mom, and her mom saw me dressed like a hot dog, and she was like, "Hey, look, he's got a hot dog costume too." So I thought, so I do a ba-ba, and then the girl just starts crying.
Yeah.
She was not having any of the
Can
scary
we see
hot
that
dog
again?
man.
Can we see that? Can we just go, yeah.
Oh, the
I
cameras
understand.
aren't pointing in the right
Yeah,
direction,
yeah.
unfortunately.
TikTok.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
And she was like, that's the hot dog man from my nightmare. He's crossed over into our reality.
My favorite is in Fisher's, a woman who let me know, she came up to my table, one of my bottles is plastic, and she let me know that she is a marketing professional, and if I really wanted this line to succeed, I should put it in something that doesn't look like soap, which led me to my secondary unspoken product line for the mouths of your friends and the genitals of your enemies. So
That is great. How spicy would you say? Like, scorpion honey is like, it's very flavorful. Like, my thing with heat is I like heat, but the flavor always has to be in equal parts to the heat.
Yeah.
Like, when people start like ramping things up just hot for hot's sake, that's when I tap out.
yeah, me too.
How many Scovilles are we talking here?
3 Rories.
Is that even a thing anymore?
Yes. The peppers that I use, the second hottest peppers in the world. I've never had it Scoville tested, but I appreciate this really long, like this extended infomercial for my product, which I promise we don't have to do. It'll be good no matter how much we talk about it on this podcast.
No, I really just wanted you to tell me, because I'm curious, since the last time that you were here, like what, how has it grown? How have you grown the business? What have the challenges been since last time we talked to you? Like, where are you at versus where you were?
Last year, I hired one person for 4 hours, and that was the only outsourced labor that I did, and I sold just a little shy of $40,000 worth of units by myself, and I'm out of my fucking mind, and I think that this is proof that if you route being out of your goddamn mind in the right series of tubes, you can actually be kind of relatively successful. So that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but for a first year working by myself, it
sounds great.
quite a bit.
But you also could have said any number or volume, and I would have been like, that's amazing. I have no frame of reference.
I sold
9 ounces of honey sold last year. That's great. She's killing the game.
Yeah.
So we had a theme today,
Yeah.
which I was very excited. Obviously, if you heard the theme song coming in, Biscuits and Swayze, in memory of the one, only the late great Patrick Swayze.
Just a bottomless talent, if you will.
Really is. And I forgot when I was talking to Thad how many.
He died?
Oh, Thad, I'm sorry. I guess we should have
Spoiler alert.
warned you.
Wait, when did he die? Just recently?
No.
2014,
Yeah, a little while ago,
Oh,
buddy.
this is before I even knew about his movies.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
So Thad has a podcast called.
Oh, 2009. No. Yeah, 2009. It's fucked up that they put their spouses, like you could conclude that they got divorced in 2009 when they were rended apart by this mortal coil, in fact.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is when the marriage ends, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm out.
It's a natural divorce.
That's an organic divorce.
Yeah.
I don't want my wiki to say we were married 1 second past when I died. No, but Thad has a podcast called IDK It because there's a bunch of kind of classic movies that we all assume that most people have seen that has not. So he gets people he watches the movie for the first time, and then somebody will watch it, either rewatch it with them or maybe they haven't seen it and discuss.
Yeah.
And I was amazed at the amount of Patrick Swayze movies that he had not seen. He was really like, Ghost? He's like, I know the pottery scene.
But here's the thing, like, I mean, I feel like we were getting introduced to Swayze. I'm like, this guy's like not a bad guy. Like, and like looking up his like Roadhouse, and now I just found out he's dead. Like, you got me into this guy. I'm like, I kind of want to meet him. Like, now,
dramatic for you.
You gotta let me know before, like, if dead or alive.
Well, what we were talking about earlier today, because I was trying to explain, like, I was trying to give him like the Reader's Digest version of Dirty Dancing as we were turning it on. He was like, "So what is this movie?" And I'm like,
Catskill Mountains, dance, abortion, dance.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was like, there's so many like 80s and 90s coming of age movies for men, and I feel like Dirty Dancing was like really a woman's coming of age.
Yeah, kind of. It is kind of like a movie about giving yourself permission to be horny. You know what I mean?
It's a very horny movie. That was the other thing that I said. I was like, he stopped, and all of a sudden he was like, "What's all going on with her abs right now? Why is she?
Yeah.
Who is she supposed to be? Tony Stark?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a very horny movie."
Yeah, it was very, like, the very beginning, the intro scene is like, oh wait, are we gonna watch this with guests? Like, what's gonna go on? Like, the intro is just like people with their shirts off, just like grinding. I'm like, okay,
It's almost like they were dirty dancing with each other.
oh, the dirties for the dancing part.
If I had just had a little bit more time this weekend, I wanted to make this really nice watermelon cocktail for you.
So was it called the carried watermelon? Yeah.
But
Was that supposed to be sexy?
was
I was like, he was just dropping the watermelons. I don't know.
No, there's a scene in the movie where like she's trying to be cool and she carries a watermelon, and then she like tells Patrick Swayze that he could care nonetheless. And it was like, have you ever tried to be cool in front of somebody and then just bombed it?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, it was like one of those. Like when I was a kid, there was my first crush were these two identical twins.
Oh, good luck with that.
Wait, two?
Right off the bat.
I mean, not two sets of twins. There was just two people that were twins.
But you kind of crush on both.
Both, yeah, they're identical. I mean, I was a child.
I don't think the people are identical.
Yeah, they're the same souls.
You were in your same years of women object permanence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
All right, everyone do this. Think about, go back in your head and remember your first crush. Okay.
To be fair, yeah, I did like a pair of identical twins. And I wanted to fuck them both.
And
I
now,
get it.
And now just imagine that there's two of them. Yeah.
To be fair, mine were triplets. So that was very confusing.
That was like a whole Budweiser ad campaign, wasn't it? It was like, and twins.
Oh, that was
remember that?
Coors Light, I believe.
That's it. There you go.
It was good marketing. It's still in there.
Yeah, that sounds like a Coors Light.
That's where math should live, but beer slogans live there instead, unfortunately. But no, I was trying to impress these two girls with a really cool walk through the fish fry, and I was just trying to get my strut on, and I was not paying attention to where I was walking, and I tripped over a folding chair, and then the whole cafeteria looked and laughed at me. And it was very much I carried a watermelon.
Was it like kind of like, was it tripped over, or did you kind of caught in it like in a coyote trap?
I didn't like go like ass over tea kettle fall over. But I definitely like made a jarring sound, and it kind of flailed about. It
ass over tea kettle. Can we pause and go around to our favorite old manisms? Mine is busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Anybody else?
Zach, I feel like you got to be all old manisms.
Zach, you feel like an ancient scroll of old manisms. We just have to pull on your string.
Yeah, no, I just feel like there's too much pressure right now. I can't just pull an old manism out.
Yeah, a lot of my
they have to be ripe.
A lot of my old manisms just aren't appropriate. Yeah, there was a different time.
Yeah, I was raised boomer, so I have a lot of things that I say that I didn't even realize were problematic. Like, I thought that's what we called them. Really, Gen Z will let you know. They'll let you know when you're out of pocket. Oh my gosh!
Thanks, Twitter.
So let's quickly run through this menu real quick. Of the
God,
biscuits
it was so
and
good.
And Zach actually printed out menus this week. This is the most. Well, first of all, let's address the elephant. Well, this is our first video podcast.
Oh my God.
We've been doing this for 2+ years, and we finally turned on the video aspect of it.
As a former writer whose career was ruined by the Facebook pivot to video, I have to relish this irony for a second.
Oh, wait, what?
No, in a good way. Okay. I mean, this is fine. It all turned out fine. I'm going to be fine.
I mean, if the numbers go down after we release the videos, I'm going to be upset.
I'm going to be selling blueberry mustard right next to you at the farmer's market any day now.
Next to the Gimp Man.
But also we're in our brand new studio too. So this will be, hopefully the studio will be a work in progress. We're going to continue. It's a little bit more every week. But we got Topanga up off camera there. We got our bootleg Back to the Future clock. It's really starting to feel like home.
You can just say anything that's off camera, really.
Yeah. We got the octopus over there.
We got our mechanical bull in the corner, which is great.
Yeah. We got the 93 bulls over there. The Titanic. We got all kinds of fun stuff.
We got a full live Shaquille O'Neal standing, which is hard to get.
So I wanted to do biscuits and gravy, and I wanted to expand the meaning of biscuits and gravy as far as we possibly could. And so we started off with kind of the traditional B's and G's with the one was my favorite is the fried biscuit.
Fuck yeah.
Fried biscuit, smoking goose, the smoking goose sausage. And I feel like that's like the baseline biscuits and gravy for me.
Yeah.
I like to do that. I also like their chorizo is really good. And then what did you name this? Oh, I had the time of my life. THYME. Fried biscuits and gravy. Zach was very.
Did Zach come up with that? That sounds like something Zach.
This whole video was Zach's.
Yeah,
it was great.
I had the time of my life biscuits. Mm-hmm. If you submitted that to Bob and Tom, you'd be fired. You understand? Like, don't do that again.
I really appreciate this menu because he did the deep dive, and some of these he really stretched to make them fit.
Okay.
Next up was the Double Deuce drop biscuits and chicken gravy.
And what's Double Deuce?
The Double Deuce is the bar from Roadhouse.
There you go.
That he was protecting. It also,
I was like, this is really Dirty Dancing. Sorry,
but you got 3 D's in there. Double Deuce drop.
Were you imagining like a Cleveland Steamer situation?
What's a Cleveland? I was scared to ask, but what is that?
Does anybody want to?
Can we just pull that up there?
Yeah, it involves shading on one's chest.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. For the dancing, I was like, man, they really went all the way to the wall. That's my old manism.
Have you seen Are you familiar with Roadhouse?
I actually have never seen Roadhouse except for the famous throat removal.
What?
So if Dirty Dancing is like, I hate to be gender binary here, but if Dirty Dancing's for the girls, then Roadhouse is for the boys.
Yep.
Also, Roadhouse I remember the very erotic scenes in it that I discovered myself to as a child. Also, as we started talking about this, we've discussed Roadhouse quite a bit on this podcast. In the movie, he's known as a cooler, which is like a professional bouncer. Basically, he's like a cross between like bar rescue and a bouncer. Yeah. But
listen, he takes a hot situation, he makes it cool again.
But in the movie, they're like talking him up before he comes in, and they're like, he's the #1 cooler in America, which insinuates that there's a ranking system for coolers.
There's like a USTA for coolers.
And also, it's just like he just straight up murders people throughout the movie. And it's just kind of like, is this part of his job? Is this okay because he's a cooler? Like, I don't know.
Like he gets away with murder in the bar?
Yeah. It's like if it's in the line of duty because he's protecting the shitty dive bar.
What is it like the thin cool line or something?
The thin Bud Light line.
Wait, time out. Please don't tell me that the throat removal was in the bar. If it was, I'm watching this movie.
This is a murder he gets away with protecting a bar.
He's like, no one touches that tequila. Wow.
And when you watch it in the time, you're just like, yeah. When you watched it originally when it came out in 89 or the 90s, you're like, yeah, this all makes sense. And watching it in 22 is like, he's murdered 5 people protecting this shitty bar. I don't think it was worth it. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze here.
There was a time though, and aren't we all a little nostalgic? Have you ever watched a documentary about the town? There's like a guy who's like famously beats all of his wives. He's just a horrible person, and someone just like shoots this motherfucker in broad daylight, like middle of town, middle of the day, and the whole town. The cops are like, "Did anyone see what happened?" And everyone in the town's like, "No, I don't know." Weird, he's dead.
The Grassy Knoll by JFK.
No.
Was that a JFK documentary that we?
Are you saying that JFK is a famous woman beater? You might well. I mean,
have you heard you guys have heard like what is like my all-time favorite explanation of JFK?
No.
Which like is to me is by far the most believable. So they used to have M16 rifles that were mounted under the back seat or the front seat of the car that he was in.
Okay.
And they may have come unmounted and just like misfired and shot his head off. But like, which to me seems like the most plausible that like someone just didn't tighten a bolt and then the president's head got exploded and we're like,
from the car behind him, you're saying?
No,
or
it was in the car.
Like in the actual car?
Yeah. And that, 70 now, what is it? 70 years of conspiracies that follow that. Maybe just government incompetence, which I believe that most of all.
Yeah.
The magic bullet.
And then they covered it up with, we're just going to redact all this stuff and frame somebody.
Ooh, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, I would buy that. I would buy that over a lot of theories that I've heard. Then the next is Sam Wheat's Puff Pastry Manhattan. Do you know Sam Wheat?
I don't know the character.
Sam Wheat was his character in Ghost.
Oh, Ghost. Okay.
And would you like to explain the connection, which I thought was great?
Well, the story took place in Manhattan.
Son of a real sack
That
of
was
shit.
the last one I came up with, and I just sat there trying to comb through everything, like how I could connect them.
The Point Break Cheddar Bay Lobster Bisque. That was really good, Zach. That was. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so I made Cheddar Bay biscuits, and then I did a lobster bisque, and then poured that over the top.
Fuck.
I had actually foraged ramps in the Cheddar Bay biscuits as well.
So good. That was all. I mean, there wasn't a stinker among them here. Like you guys always put a real strong menu together, but today was, And then that last shortcake with the strawberry. Talk about the frozen strawberry bits and ice cream because like that took me all the way there.
The ice berries?
Ice berries.
Well, I'll say that was a bit of a happy accident. We're still in transition of unpacking things, and a lot of the kitchen is still kind of MIA. I'm still discovering where things are, and I could not find my. I haven't had my food processor for the past like 5 months.
Oh.
And I found an immersion blender, and I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, I'll just use this." And I plugged it in, and it just it was like in 2 pieces, and it just kind of like stripped the whatever out. Cool. I don't know. I'm not a maintenance person, but and it started that smoking smell, and everything. And so I was just like, I'll just dump this in the ice cream as it churns, and I'm sure it'll work itself out. And then when you're like, "Oh, I like the frozen strawberry chunks in the middle," I was like, that all adds up. Yep, that's what happens when you make ice cream that way.
Dude, I have a Robo Coupe and an ice cream turn at my house right now.
Okay.
Should have let me know.
I need to find, because I have a good one. I got a nice commercial grade.
Oh.
It's just from a previous failed business of mine. But yeah, I just need to unpack it. But yeah, as I was like, it still worked itself out. I love making ice cream out on that thing. Like, I also forgot that our videographer deathly allergic to strawberries, and I just made sure to smear everything with a nice layer of strawberry. Good,
great.
I actually had told him to taste it for me.
Good.
I was like, "You taste it, see if it's soft or hard." He was like, "Does this have strawberries in it?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Remember, I'm deathly allergic." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Hey, come over here. Does this taste itchy to you?
I'm trying to kill Tyler.
Did you have a favorite? Did you have anything that stuck out there?
Oh God.
No wrong answers. Only right answers.
I have to say that the Puff Pastry Manhattan was so fucking good. The textures were so awesome. But I will say, normally I'm really full, and by the end, like I can't do much with the dessert. But it was like that was really good. Those are probably my 2 favorites. Was the Puff Pastry Manhattan and the strawberry. But the fried, your classic gravy is so good, Dyke. Just like the sausage, pan, milk, thickener, pepper. Awesome.
Thanks. I had a lot of practice doing the old Blackacre brunch.
Yeah.
For a number of years.
Right, that's right.
I found my old. So like the first time, I'm sure you know this. Like the first time you're in the newspaper for anything, you get that phone call from the plaque man or plaque person, and they're like, "Do you want to?" So I was like, "Yeah, I'll pay $200 or whatever it is to have." And I just unpacked, and it still has my my dead name on there. It's like Mac Dag sure can whip up a lot in this little kitchen. And it's like I paid so much money to have this thing made that I'm like I have to put it on my wall. And every time I move and put it on the wall, I'm just like I feel like an asshole. Like I feel like no one's ever in my bedroom, and if they are, I feel like I'm showing off. Like. Hey, come in here. Want to see a plaque with my name on it?
I thought that was the point of bedrooms.
Yeah, me too.
To
brag.
To have things up there to show off.
Yeah, various levels of bragging.
Yeah, like, hey, this year I learned how to tie a knot very well in Boy Scouts. I hope you like knots.
Hope you like shibari. Enjoy.
Yeah.
I have that and my culinary diploma up, and it just both make me sad every time I look at that was so much money.
I have my butler degree. I actually got 2 degrees, which are matted in the same frame, which I thought was very insulting. And then matted so poorly that I jostled it one time, and the degree fell kind of crooked in the frame, and so I put it in the garage, and that's where it's lived ever since.
You think with all that money they could have given you 2 separate frames?
Just 2 frames, man. Come on.
Yeah.
It was like Thad just bought this house, and what is it?
Is there a drop for that?
The realty.
Every time you mention that, okay.
And who was it? The realty company? Who was it that they sent him a cutting board?
Yeah, they sent me a plaque that said House of McKee.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a cutting board, and so
Cool.
I don't appreciate you using it without my permission. I saw that it was used today. We'll talk about that off mic. But it says House of McKee. It feels very Games of Thrones-y.
But he was like, oh, look at how nice they were. I was like, you gave them thousands of dollars, and they bought this with your money and gave it back to you.
Yeah.
pretty good grift if you can get in on it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think we all got in the wrong business.
I'm just not good. I couldn't show someone, a house with a leaky roof and be like, it has so much potential. Then I'd go home and just stab myself in the thigh while I look myself in the eyes in the mirror. You know what I mean? Just
I decided one of the only things that I actually knew about myself from a very young age was I could never take any kind of job the rest of my life where I was fucking somebody else over. And I remember thinking, in my head at the time, I was just and I put these all in the same category. I was like, I could never be a cop.
Yep.
But I could also never be a telemarketer. I was I could never be a bother or a hindrance to someone professionally.
yeah.
And and I stand by that.
Yeah.
Wait, but making food like what you just did with Tyler and almost gave him strawberries, that's a great way to mess someone's life
That's
up.
not a job. I just did that for the love of the game. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I feel like I've seen Steve Miller Band and every band kind of that ilk at Deer Creek over the course of 5 summers.
It's if every time they have, of that ilk or of that era, it should coincide with a Nike Monarchs fashion show. You know what I mean? It should just be middle-aged dudes in their crispy boys, showing how to accessorize with your favorite polo or Hawaiian shirt.
But I was going when I was 14 fit through 16. I got into. I remember one of the. Oh man, I gotta be careful here. How old was I? I went to Jimmy Buffett one time, and I was supposed to be the designated driver, and I went with my friend. Worked there, doing a fan experience thing. And so he was taking us all around, or he wasn't working that day, but he was showing us all the fun in the parking lot. And I was like, oh, the party's out here in the parking lot beforehand. And so I was my thinking was, okay, I'll have a few drinks here.
I'll get sober at the show.
Before the show.
Yeah.
Get sober at the show.
This is my favorite self-delusion.
And, and I'll just ride that buzz to the show and I'll be great by the time it's time to leave. Mm-hmm. So we're walking around and everyone, have you ever been to a Jimmy Buffett concert before?
No, but I have been drunk around a lot of white people. So I figure it's...
Well, like I'll tell you what, I could see myself going full parrot head because it's just a bunch. It's like a weird, fun vibe of party alcoholics.
Yeah, it's literally if you could peel a bunch of Salt Life bumper stickers off of cars in the Midwest, animate them Beauty and the Beast style, it would be a parrot head show.
Everyone has a different like gimmick in front of their RV. You know, it's like a drinking game, or they're cooking something, or they're tossing sticks at another stick or whatever. And it's great. And all of a sudden, you're 2-3 hours in, binge drinking in the parking lot. And I just remember being like done and being like, that was so fun. I had such a good time. Also, I had zero interest in actually watching the show after. I was like, I've heard the whole lineup 17 times. I don't need to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
And we went inside, and I remember just being like, okay, I gotta sober up. One of my friends handed me a mystery pill and was like, do you want to take it? And I was like, yeah, why not? And I remember taking that and immediately being like, I have to go lay down. And I went out to my car and just passed out. And then I woke up and it was nighttime, and I was like, okay, the concert's still going on. I just need to sleep a little bit more. Next time I came to, there was some drunk lady trying to get into my car.
Yes.
And it woke me up, and I was just like, wrong car. And just like that scared, startled voice. And then I went back to sleep, and then I got woken up the next time to someone knocking on the door and like, sir, you need to leave. And I was like, oh no, I'm just waiting on my friends. And they go, sir, you're the only car left here on the lot. You need to leave. And I woke up and I was just like, oh, I was supposed to take some people home, I'm pretty sure.
No way.
A paragon is always of responsibility, Dyke. Thank you.
Triggered. I'm always triggered by the classic rock hits.
Do you think they came back to the car? They're like, there's no way he's taking us home.
Yeah, they were like, he's fine. We actually put together a little bit of a game for you if you're
Always.
interested.
Always.
It's a game that Zach put it together. I'll let him introduce it.
It's a little game we like to call Troll Trivia.
In the dungeon! Turn around in the dungeon! They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my God!
All right, I'm ready.
So how Troll Trivia works is each of you will be asked a question. I'm going to give you a fact, and your job is to tell me if it is a real or fake fact.
Oh, okay.
We'll start with you, Sarah.
I'm ready.
So these are all Patrick Swayze themed today.
Okay.
Dancing has always been a staple for the Swayze family. Patrick studied ballet from an early age, starting at his mother's dance studio in Texas.
True.
Absolutely true.
Wow, there's a lot of detail on that. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna be like it was like Oklahoma or something.
There's a great photo shoot out there of Swayze in the early 90s. I'm sure you can find pictures here, but where he's kind of holding dancer poses. It's really beautiful. He has a dancer's body. He's a lovely and graceful man. He was.
I remember that was a thing growing up, like what you would hear, kind of like it was like a thing of like ballet's not gay. Patrick Swayze did
Yeah,
it.
that's right,
It was
that's
like
right.
that kind of shit.
Also, male ballet dancers are some of the most ripped, strong motherfuckers who will pick you up by your hips and then just sort of cast you aside through the air.
Yeah, you can't rip people's throats out if you don't know ballet.
No, you gotta have a real working knowledge of anatomy.
I think it's part of the accreditation.
How
that you get.
embarrassing is it to reach into someone's neck and just rip out a thyroid? Womp womp.
right.
Next one to Dyke. Patrick Swayze worked at Disneyland and often played Prince Charming. He was even once said to have danced with Michelle Pfeiffer playing Cinderella.
Man. True.
That one is true. You guys are doing good today.
He's well, I mean, because like the people that aren't in costumes have to be like super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be the character. So I could see Michelle Pfeiffer and Patrick Swayze. Dude, what was the character? Oh, he was Prince Charming. What was Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, she was Cinderella.
Oh, you said that right.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
All right, Thad.
What year was
I'm ready for this, and I'm going to get it right.
Along with celebrities Halle
True.
Berry and Drew Carey, Patrick Swayze also has polydactyly, which means having extra fingers or toes,
Of course it does.
and in fact had to have one of those toes removed in order to do Dirty Dancing.
So Patrick himself had to have one of his finger feet removed.
Finger feet? I don't know if that's what they're called, but
in different countries, you wouldn't know that. So Patrick himself, or just one of the cast members?
Patrick Swayze.
Everyone.
You can't look it up. What are you doing?
No, I'm not looking it up. I'm looking into his eyes. I'm asking him to reveal his secrets. And
But that's like knees up.
Yeah.
You trying to look at his feet to see if there's something missing?
I didn't mean to cheat. I didn't mean I wanted it to go true, but I am going to go false.
That is false.
Hey!
Pretty sure Patrick Swayze was born perfect. So.
Let's go!
All right, Sarah. Patrick Swayze was originally considered for the role of Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters, but the directors decided against it, saying that they didn't want a comedy lead with sex appeal.
Everything seems possible in 80s Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like every casting seems possible. And this game doesn't matter. So I'm going to say true.
That is not true.
Damn it.
That is entirely made up.
Damn.
Yeah, because Bill Murray was in there, and his sex appeal.
Did we have a drop there?
I mean, oh yeah, no. I didn't even have it on. Yep, good. I flubbed that one up.
Yep, that's all right.
All right, Dyke.
Love silent drops.
Patrick Swayze is referenced in
Hold on, before we go there. So they're saying that they purposely hired Bill Murray because there was no sex appeal? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. He was the less sexy, lead.
Okay.
Okay, Patrick Swayze's name has been referenced in over 300 hip-hop songs.
It's very rhymable.
It is very rhymable. I mean, we made Biscuits and Swayze today. Man, 300, I don't know. You know who used to get dropped in a lot of songs? Became the president. They didn't like him anymore. I'm going to say
Biden?
I'm going to say no.
It's true.
God damn it.
I didn't see a list of all of them, but
you have some examples?
There's a Biggie song, I think, that references him. One of the more famous ones. All right, Thad.
Should be having my Swayze.
If you consider
baby.
Biggie actual rapper. Some people.
Patrick Swayze once hosted a not-so-popular charity event where male strippers raised money for food charities. The event was called Hungry Eyes.
I was there, actually, for that. And it was very inappropriate because the kids were there and they were not eating as well. They were just watching the strippers because, you didn't pay $300 for this event. And the kids are like, but this is for us. I was there, and it's true. It's very true. It's sad to say.
I'm sorry, that is not true. I don't know what event you went to.
Zach, I think you're extremely talented anyway, but watching you read that with the straightest straight face I've ever seen it's like I watched you powerlift just now.
Yeah.
You understand how much joy he gets out of creating misinformation?
So what was the event called? I was there. What was it called? Swayze's Gravy?
Keeping children hungry?
Yeah. Fugazi for Swayze.
All right, last one, Sarah?
Yeah.
So Patrick Swayze was bullied in high school. After getting jumped by 5 kids, his dad stepped in and talked to his coach, asking that he be allowed to fight them fairly, one at a time. Patrick Swayze did, and won every fight.
These kids just took turns getting roundhouse kicked by young
So they
Patrick
were all
Swayze.
jumping them, and his dad said, no, that's not fair.
Yeah.
You should fight fair, one at a time.
My heart wants it to be true, but my brain knows it's false.
This one was true.
No.
Whoa!
This one blew my mind.
No way.
What?
I couldn't dig into it too much, but yeah, no, that's how they said it.
Oh, man.
Do you know how long I'm going to think about that? Do you know how long I'm going to be quiet moments to myself that are otherwise
no,
peaceful?
son, I'll save you. Listen, guys, you got to get in line.
One at a
time.
Hey, my son's real tough. Let's do a fair shot.
No wonder he became an action star. He already knew the rules of one goon at a time, you know?
I'm just picturing his father in the background being like, again! Again!
Even as a child, he was protecting the shitty bar.
So It's a lot easier to rip a child's throat out.
That's why he was number one. He started at an early age.
Well, thank you, Zach. That was a great addition. What was that game called again?
Troll trivia.
They're gonna eat her. I love it. I also love when there's people in studio that don't have headphones on and we just all get quiet and stare at the soundboard for a second.
I like that we're still just a bunch of naked apes, such that we cannot help but like look at the sound making box. Like,
Yeah.
what sounds will come out of the box now?
Sounds and lights. That story reminded me, like, there used to be all these weird, like, before the internet and everything, there's been all these weird tales about stuff. Like, I remember being a little kid, and I think it's because I was a bit of a bedwetter, that Michael Landon from Highway to Heaven and Little House on the Prairie, famously was as the story goes, was a bedwetter. And his mom would hang his pissy sheets on the clothesline outside, and he was always afraid that. Have you heard this? He was always afraid that his peers, the children, would see them, so he would like race the bus home every day to like grab his sheets off the line, and then he became like a track star or something. Because every day he practiced running to hide his pissy sheets. And I was told this story somehow to help me stop wetting the bed. I don't know how
That
this
is truly the most boomer ass trauma achievement. Like, that is something that a 65-year-old man would tell you with a smile on your face while you look at them like this.
Yeah, and it was really funny because I looked up famous bedwetters because I just like, this is something. He's the first person that comes up. Michael Landon is the most famous bedwetter. Behind, you guessed it, Franklin D. Roosevelt. How much did he have to piss his bed to be a president of the United States? Wow.
Wait, who's number 3 there?
Oh, a little known actress by the name of Suzanne Summers. Famous bedwetter. Those are the top 3. They don't give me any other ones. Franklin D.
And this has been Great Bedwetters of History.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a number 4 position for you there, Dad.
I might be
there you go.
Dude, do you want to be number 4?
I might be number 4.
Can you edit that in Wikipedia?
We all know the number 4.
Do you think anybody's going to contest you?
He's the 4th most famous bedwetter, podcaster, Dyke Michaels. I don't even know who this guy is. I was raised boomer, like I was raised by my greatest generation grandparents. So there's a lot of stuff, like, even though I'm a millennial, I was raised backwards in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And one of them was, help get over a bedwetting by telling them about Michael Landon, which is apparently a thing.
Yep.
Yeah. He's the number 1.
Yeah, super fast. I think he was just I think he was the only person that's ever been open about it as an adult.
I love it. My parents are boomers. My dad was 40, my mom was 35 when I was born, and they love to tell me the most fucked up, horrific fucking shit, like laughing. Like, my dad tormented my uncle, his little brother, so much that one day they were chopping firewood with a hatchet, and my dad said something mean and walked away from my Uncle Mike, who took the hatchet and threw it at him, and I mean, grazed his ear, and it stuck in the tree in front of him. And my dad was like, so I never bullied him after that again. And I'm like, dude, you bullied your little brother to homicide. And then you were like, so good thing that didn't land.
Yeah, whatever doesn't kill you gets buried deep inside your subconscious. Oh man, so the 2 things my grandparents taught me as a little kid. I remember when they decided to tell me about the Klan when I was I found out about the Klan and the Holocaust in around the same time, about 8 years old.
Oh.
And I remember they told me about they were always just very matter-of-factly about things. As you are when you're telling an 8-year-old. And I remember they'd be like, they wear white hoods, and they hate black people, and they want to hurt them. And they like to burn crosses and people. And I remember burning the cross for some reason stuck out more than anything. It was like, how horrifying is that?
Yeah.
Someone's burning something in your front. Like, as a kid, that, hey, I'm burning something in your front yard because I don't like you.
Yeah. Just
stuck out to me. And I was just like, and I remember asking them, I was like, so people, they really just don't like us that much that they're going to burn it. And my grandparents said, don't like you, son. Don't like you.
Great. Thank you so much.
We're fine. I don't know if you've been listening. We're cool.
Jesus Christ.
And then I found out about I was camping and I had made friends with I was like 8 years old. I made friends with this little German boy. And I remember he was like teaching me German number. I didn't speak German. He didn't speak English. So he's like saying numbers in German. I'm saying them in English and we're like hanging out. And I'm like, can he come over and make s'mores? And we hang out all day. As soon as he leaves, my French grandmother decides to tell me about the Holocaust because this German boy, I guess, triggered something. Now, she lived through the Nazi occupation of France. So, I mean, it was like maybe top of mind for her. Still way inappropriate. And I remember, like, she just told me, like, I don't remember what she said past the gas chambers because it was a very detailed description of poison gas, like tricking people into killing them with poison gas during a shower.
Cool.
And as soon as she got done teaching me about this wonderful part of history, I had to go take a shower with my grandpa in a creepy camp shower that was just all concrete, and all I could think about is when is the poison gas gonna come out? And as I'm terrified and like crying and not wanting to go take a shower, and my grandpa was like, it's like, I didn't normally shower with my grandpa. It was only like when we were camping.
One would hope.
And so like, not only do I have to like dodge his giant penis the whole time, I'm also worried about when the poison gas is gonna start spraying out.
Imagine if it came out of the giant penis.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm so mega bummed out by every single element of that story in orchestration together. Seems like one by itself is bad enough.
Nothing says Harder Brunch like Holocaust grandpa showers. I just want to say that.
We're not naming the episode. I saw him.
He wanted to write that down.
We're getting kicked off every
Yeah.
platform.
And like
Holocaust grandpa shower, Zach. You thought that was on the table?
in his mind, he's like, people are gonna click on this. People are gonna click on this and be like, yeah, what is this?
If there's one thing that I want aligned with my brand, it is the phrase Holocaust Grandpa Showers, brought to you by Metal Honey Foods.
All right, I'll bury it in the description.
What's the theme song for that Hot Honey commercial?
Just screaming, children.
Dad, what's that smell? Take this hot honey, hon. Scorpion honey.
Oh, God.
Well,
Goes great with striped pajamas.
My goodness.
oh well, you know what? Speaking of neo-Nazis, you
No, they
all
were
know-
OG Nazis.
Well, yes, sorry, excuse me. I apologize to any Nazis that I offended out there by confusing neo with old school.
You miss-Nazi'd them.
Yeah, I miss Nazi.
I apologize to all my analog Nazis out there.
Yeah, just a big Nazi apology today at Harder Brunch.
You know, I thought it couldn't get farther off the rails, but
Right.
keep going.
He's like, hey, we'll do one thing. I'll talk about showering with my grandpa, but we will not disrespect the Nazis. So this is a little fun fact about Patrick Swayze. His niece married a neo-Nazi, according to Google. So that's a little transition back into.
Is this the canceling part of the... What are we doing?
Yeah, I guess he is dead. You know, they said don't be a dead Nazi horse.
Can you drop in a sound clip of the Whoopi Goldberg "You and Danger Girl"?
Run. Sarah, don't go on that podcast. You and Danger Girl. They could talk about grandpa showers. So, I don't know how to segue this very well, but something happened to Thad this week that he wants to share because it was one of the funniest misunderstandings I think that I can think of in recent memory.
So my friend Mo Mitchell, a great comic on the scene, and you know who we're talking about, Indianapolis. Mo Mitchell, known her for 4 years, right, in the comedy scene. And I told her how we just bought the house, a little drop for the house.
Shame.
Turn it up. There it is. I
Shame.
guess. Oh, okay.
Shame.
I didn't need a shame. Okay, probably deserved that. Well, I told her, like, yeah, we just bought a house and we're moving in. She's like, oh, you're moving out of the mansion? And I was like, yeah, we moved out of the mansion. Like, can I live in your mansion? He's like, well, you'll have to ask Justin, the person that runs the place. And she's like, wait, I thought this was your mansion. And I was like, oh, no, I don't own that mansion. We were just renting. And then she's like, but because you're rich. And I was like, excuse me? And she's like, well, wait, I've been informed that you have a lot of money. And I was like, excuse, what are you thinking? And she's like, I thought you were making hundreds and thousands of dollars a year. And like, at first I thought this was a bit because she's a comic.
Yeah.
And then once I find out it's not a bit, like, wait a second.
She just thought you were independently wealthy.
Yes. And I'm wearing sweats and a Baywatch cutoff. And I'm looking into her eyes, watching her, finding out that I am not a rich, independently. She thought I was like doing comedy for fun, just to get in touch with myself. Like, she's like, I thought you were a really nice guy for like a millionaire.
She goes because he's always wearing knit sweaters and athleisure.
Like, I'm like getting helicoptered into open mics. Like, all right, I'm gonna try to hang out with these common folk. But like, it hurt too, because like this whole time for 4 years, she's thought I was this guy that hid my monocle and my top hat, like in my Batmobile outside the open mics. Like, I've never seen my stock drop in someone's eyes so quickly.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because you're nice for a rich person.
Yeah, like
You're just slightly an asshole for a normal person.
Like,
You
well,
have
he
to
is
go
rich.
back over every conversation you've ever had with her.
Seriously.
You know,
She's always been really nice and sweet. And like, now I'm like, wait, has she been trying to get at my money? Then I don't have that. I'm protective of this fake money. Like, all right, I see what you're up to.
also, that casts me in a shitty light as your roommate too. It just looks like I'm just riding your coattails. It's like, yeah, I just live in his mansion.
Yeah.
You're his houseman.
Yeah.
You're just the houseman.
Yeah, just-
Who's the other character in BoJack Horseman that just like lives with him, like his sobriety buddy or whatever? You're that guy.
Aaron Paul's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dyke, my sobriety buddy, is probably the funniest thing I've heard.
Have you ever had those friends though? Like over time, when you think about like where do they make their money, and you have friends that you realize you've never heard about them having a job, they've never talked about a job.
Oh, yeah.
They always have slightly nicer stuff than you do, and you're like, you live on a trust fund. It took me 6 years
yeah.
to put it all together.
That's old money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always real slow at putting that together, because I remember being like a kid and like I always say like I grew up like my grandparents were middle class and my mom was poor.
Yeah.
By herself, but I kind of went back and forth, and I'm like, the only thing being is like worse than being raised poor is being raised poor half the time, because you know what you're missing, you know, like. But like I had some friends, like I remember I met a friend, and he lived in what now I know is like not a great apartment complex. But he had a Nintendo and I didn't. And so I don't care if his apartment had been on fire. You know, like he had a Nintendo, and I remember I went over and all I could talk about was playing this Nintendo. And my grandma was like, you're never going back over there. But like, she was a real treat. But she was also the kind of person that like I had a rich friend who had a giant house that we would run around and play. And she would say the same thing, you know, just like stick to your own middle class roots.
And that probably was like France was probably a lot more classist back then.
Maybe that might, any time to shit all over France. This Haitian right here.
Take that, France, in your face. Remember slavery?
I didn't colonize anything. I'm only a quarter French.
If you want to get real bummed out too, you can look into how when France relinquished Haiti, they made it so that it could never ever survive economically.
Yep.
So even though they were like, hey, listen, you guys, you know what? You're right. You should have your country back. Also, you owe us all this back money for hundreds of years. So good luck.
Remember when we like housed and fed you?
Yeah, you're charged for that.
Yeah, we got the bill. That's what happened. Once we were like, hey, we fought our way out of slavery and freedom. Like, we're free. And like, yeah, you owe us a lot of money for being free.
Yes.
And it's believed. I don't want to step on your joke, so go ahead.
No, you
I
go
don't want to
first.
just step on your joke about Haitians being enslaved.
Zach, you always have a hot slavery joke. We always love your
quick
hot
with
slavery
it.
takes.
No,
What is it?
I knew somebody whose father gave them an invoice when they left the house.
Cool.
Yeah.
For like, 18 years of, and
that's what France did to Haiti.
They'd calculated like how much of the car payment they should have caused like over the years. Yeah, rent and all that.
Yeah,
real psychopath.
It seemed like a real audacious move.
Yeah. True psychopath.
So what we believe is the actual Statue of Liberty was given as a gift to help, because the Americans helped with the Louisiana Purchase. Mm-hmm. That's what was happening. The Haitians were kicking the French's ass, and they needed to sell off land. So that's where the Louisiana Purchase came from. And then I think the Statue of Liberty was a gift because America and the French were in cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from Thad that there was native Haitians, which I guess makes sense, but I just had never thought about before. Like, I guess probably all those islands had indigenous population. I just never thought about it before, and I was
and now there is like an ongoing, even worse, like colorism conflict going on in a lot of those places.
Yeah, he taught me about that too.
Yeah, it's great. It just keeps getting fucked generationally.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
There was a really good podcast called the Dictators or something like that, and it just like they talk about like.
You ever listened to Behind the Bastards?
It's a similar podcast, but they talk about like Papa Doc for one, and I'm Haitian history I knew nothing about before I met Dad, and it's
really interesting.
Wild, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it goes deep. It goes deep.
Yep.
But
voodoo.
But we're talking about hot honey here.
Yeah.
I love
guys, I think we covered it all. We got the Holocaust. We got genocides of all flavors.
Yeah.
You got the cold. You got the fried and lemon genocide. You got the spicy mango and cilantro genocide. We got all the flavors.
We got apology to Nazis.
We got Michael Landon peeing his pants, and my grandfather's penis. I think we've covered everything we need to in this podcast.
Don't forget Franklin D.
Hey, we don't. No one remembers second place. Okay, we don't talk about.
Fuck.
Step up your game,
This
Delano.
makes me. I'm so sorry that I have to terrorize you with this, but when my best friend Julie Savi and I were in middle school, she would come up with horrible fake songs, like in the vein of Weird Al Yankovic, and one of her favorites was, "It's really long, it's in your mom, it's your dad's penis." And I don't know why, I just needed to terrorize that with you. That just brought that to my mind. We've had a lot of dick jokes.
Was
this
that
episode.
Take a look.
Reading Rainbow?
Yeah, exactly.
Reading. Oh, that's nice.
Dave just ruined that show for a lot of people.
Well, that's how he got there.
Yeah.
Can you drop a beat for me, sir? Sarah Murrell, always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Where can people get their hands on this product, on this hot honey?
Well, I'm here because summer market season is about to start, so I will be at the original farmers market from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Wednesdays downtown on Market Street. Then on Wednesday evenings from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Sober Farmers Market, or 4 to 7 p.m. Sober Farmers Market, 49th and College. And then on Saturdays, Garfield Farmers Market, Garfield Park Farmers Market in Garfield Park, and Indy Summer Farmers Market at the John Boner Center at Arsenal Tech High School. So
It really
and metalhoney.com. Sorry.
It really is a phenomenal product. And guys, if you go to one of these farmers markets and you just have ideas or suggestions that Sarah, it doesn't even have to be about a product, maybe about a personal life.
I will have a suggestion box out this week, and the suggestion box will be a pad of paper and a pen and a bottle of KY lubricant, and you can put it all together after that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Zach Round.
If you like this show, consider joining us for our Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/Harder Brunch. It's only $3 a month for all of our after brunch episodes.
Nice.
That's a pretty good deal, actually.
It's a great deal.
It's the best deal on the internet.
Because that's the one that we get the most raw on.
Yeah, I mean, if you really liked Holocaust Grandpa Showers, wait till you hear what we talk about behind the paywall.
Ooh, that is Jay.
You can find me at Thad McKee. That's THAD at Thad McKee on Instagram and Twitter, and on the new website that's coming out.
Thanks. I'm at Dyke Michaels across the board on all social media, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.